It's hard to put into words that feeling you get when you experience a pure Rocky Mountain getaway. Whether it's the thrill of an epic hike or the tranquility of small-town charm, in the village of Estes Park, Colorado, it's a feeling they know well. Only a 90-minute drive from Denver, and you're surrounded by awe-inspiring views, endless adventure, and a picturesque downtown with restaurants, shops, breweries, art galleries, and family attractions. Start planning your Rocky Mountain escape now at www.visitestespark.com. Oohs and ahs included.
Imagine you've been injured in an accident. Now, do you want an assembly line law firm that treats you like a number and settles early for easy money? Hell no. You want an attorney who does everything in his power to translate knowledge and experience into big bucks in your pocket. Call me now for a free consultation at 702-INJURED.
If you've been hurt, not being the word, call 702-INJURED.
The playoffs are here, and Golden Knights fans can discover why BetMGM is the king of sportsbooks. Download the BetMGM app today and make every playoff game mean more than ever. Go for the goal with BetMGM, an official sports betting partner of the NHL and the Vegas Golden Knights.
BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly and offer resources to help you make appropriate choices. BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 plus to wager. Nevada only. Please gamble responsibly. For help, please call 1-800-522-4700. MGMResorts.com/GameSense.
Back to the Knights versus the Oilers in their Stanley Cup Playoff Series on the Vegas Golden Knights Radio Network with Dan Duba and Gary Lala.
I have a ringside at Rogers Place. It's Edmonton, Alberta. It's Game 6. Knights take a 4-2 lead to the second intermission. I'm Dan Duva with Golden Knights insider Gary Lawless. Gary is brought to us by Simply Honda of Henderson.
Jack Campbell into the net for the Oilers to start the third. That's the third time in this series Stuart Skinner hasn't completed a game. Campbell, it should be said, has an excellent in relief for the Oilers.
Stopped each of the 9 shots he faced last game in just over 22 minutes, including 5 for 5 on the power play. Underway in the third, Vegas leads 4-2, trying to close out the series. Knights win the draw going right to left. Petrangelo, Martinez ahead for Smith, Carlson, and Waugh. They get it into the Knights down to the near corner. Vegas in pursuit on the forecheck. Oilers break through. Ryan up the right side, but he misses the target. Petrangelo nudges it away. Oilers get the puck on the near side only momentarily. Waugh lumbers out through the center logo. Right wing offside. Smith behind the play. Carlson too quick into the zone on the left wing, opposite side. So Jonathan Marchessault, natural hat trick. Second career playoff hat trick. 5 in his career. He's got 8 points in 4 playoff games, most in any 4-game stretch in his Stanley Cup playoffs career. And today, for Jonathan, game 84 in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
And the Oilers are rattled. Evander Kane spent a ton of time at the end of the second period talking to the referees, and then Matthias Ekholm just went to Wes McCauley to complain again about that boarding call in the second period. Got to move on.
Oilers turn it over in their own zone. Drop pass. Eichel in the middle shoots. Over the goal, deflected into the netting. Not a shot on goal, so not yet faced for backup Jack Campbell, as Kelly mentioned a moment ago. He's come out in relief now 3 times in this series. He came out in relief once against the Kings in the first round and actually got an overtime win. Campbell, drafted by Dallas in the first round back in 2010. Played in the OHL for a couple of years. From Port Huron, Michigan. Formerly Jonathan Quick's backup with the Kings. Campbell was the backup each of the 4 games in 2018 when the Knights swept Los Angeles. Knights are trying to do here what they did against the Sharks in the second round. Go back and forth, win-loss, but then win games 5 and 6 to clinch a second-round series. Oilers bring it out of their own zone from the draw. They turn it over in the neutral zone. Stevenson pulls it back to his own end, away from the puck. Howden got tangled up with Evander Kane. Knights send it in. No icing. Behind the net, Stevenson to the middle, a shot over the goal from Howden, who went down to his left knee as he fired. Just as the puck went through Mark Stone in the slot, it got to Howden for the try, but he missed the net. Oilers into the zone left wing. Kulak rims it around. Near corner for Nick Hayes. Behind the net for Brett Howden. Puts it to the far corner. Oilers take it there. Whitecloud and Hague defend. Puck at the left side of the net. Bang it away. It's loose in front. Picked up by the Knights. Stone pitches it with perfect touch out. Not enough for an icing. It's into the slot. And the goaltender Campbell gets the pass away just in time before Stone arrives. Oilers dump it in. Petrangelo back. Take one way. Tried to go the other. Lost the puck. Helped out by Teddy Bluger. Sends it ahead on the left wall. Nurse cuts it off. From the far side, he rims it to Hound. Out in front for a shot from Derek Ryan. That was stopped. And pardon, that was Zach Hyman, number 18. Derek Ryan's number 10. Hyman's got it in the left circle. Hyman double teamed in the corner. Taken away by Petrangelo. Slides it behind for Martinez. Alec lifts the puck to the neutral zone. Tumbles in, and Kolasar will get there first in the left corner. Behind his goal. Bluger helps it along. Carrier on the right boards now. Carrier double team. Shoved into the wall. Makes a pass out to the neutral zone. Vegas comes back in on the left side. Both sides change. Line changes brought to you by William Hill. Vegas 4, Edmonton 2. Third period, game 6. The Knights win. Needs their third trip to the semifinal round. Oilers dump it in. Oilers send it out in front after a steal behind the net. Hill was tied up. Gets back to his crease. Vegas gets the puck. Carlson coming ahead with Smith. And now Nick Waugh. They couldn't get it into the zone. Tie up at the red line. Theodore tied his man up. Oilers get the puck though. And on the left, here's a feed to the right. Off target. Comes into the circle. Carlson converging there with Waugh. Smith fishing for it too. Oilers get it once again on the near side wall. Waugh knocks it free. Helped behind by McLeod. Pulled out by the Knights. It's Theodore starting it to Smith. He clears the zone. So the Knights got to the Stanley Cup final, of course, in 2018. Got to the third round in 2020 in the bubble. And then 2021, they got to the third round, which was not considered the Western Conference final because it was against Montreal, but still the third round. Well, if they win this series, it would be the fourth time they would reach that point. Knights coming right to left. Dump in goes off Barbashev's stick. It ends up in the trapezoid for Campbell. On the left wall, Eichel steps in, but the Oilers break through. Draisaitl coming up the right side. McDavid to the left and a shot. Saved by Hill. Rebound to the far boards. Jack Eichel skates it in front of his bench. Up to the right. He dumps it in. Big save for Aiden Hill. Really his first true test of the third period.
Yeah, but he's been very sharp. The Oilers, the second half of the second period until Vegas scored again, it was all Edmonton for a while.
Puck comes down in front of the Vegas net into the slot. Knights down at first. Cleared out the near side wall. Howden looking to bank it to Stevenson. It's cut off by the Oilers. They come back in on the far side. McNabb gets over with Stone. A steal for Stone. Stevenson works through, but then he is knocked over.
Wow, he got hauled down.
Chandler with his speed so often. He kind of lets the puck go off of his stick. Tries to draw the interference call, but it has not been called, at least not in this series. Puck is deep in the Vegas zone. Martinez got it to Stone far side. Sends the puck through center. No icing though. Linesman waved it off.
The Blue Shark was skating right beside the puck.
It didn't slow down as much as I might have thought. 5 minutes into the third period, Gary, and the Oilers need 2 goals to tie to keep their season alive. Knights steal the puck on the far boards. What work there by Kolasar. Springing Carrier with Bluger, right side. Carrier's backhander from the right wing went wide of the net. Behind the goal. Now it's out to center. Kolasar backs it up to his own zone alongside Hague. Across to Theodore, who swings it forward through the neutral zone. Knights go for a change. Oilers can't bring it in. Vegas coming forward. Here's Smith into the zone. Drop past Bluger. He shoots. Save. Campbell holds on. Teddy Bluger does have one career Stanley Cup playoff score in 19 previous games. The first 18 of those with the Penguins.
The fans just figured out that Jack Campbell was in net and not Stuart Skinner. Campbell made the save and they started to go Stu. And then halfway through they're like, oh, that's not Stu.
No.
Or maybe they were going Stu.
Only a handful of folks offered their booing when Petrangelo had the puck, so that seems like a lost cause.
Puck management has just been so from Vegas in their own zone so far. Couple of giveaways.
Offensive zone draw. Oilers get it. And clear. Bouchard banks it up the left side wall. McDavid on the ice. waits for the puck in the right corner. He's double teamed. Puck comes out high. Bouchard shoots off the body in front, knocked away by Pietrangelo. Up the slot, forced out by Carlson. Oilers must clear the zone. Just now they tag up. Draisaitl back to his own line. Forward pass up to Kane. He gets it in. Martinez checked by Kane behind the Vegas goal, but Smith starts it out to Carlson. 2-on-2 through center. Carlson stick checks. Puck comes to the near side wall. Bouchard for the Oilers. Rips it ahead left wing. Off an Edmonton stick. Whitecloud goes back to defend. Janmark on the left side. Former Golden Knight. Barbashev steps in. He tries to get the puck for the Knights. Comes around to the near boards, though. Cody Ceci, the defenseman, pinches in. Got it behind. McDavid lost the puck. Knights to it on the far boards and cleared out by Wall.
Golden Knights wingers doing a real good job on the wall right now. When they get a chance to get it out, they've been getting it out. Paying the price, taking the hit to make the play.
Oilers left to right. Into the zone left wing. Theodore defends Ryan. Puck ends up behind the goal. And now in the corner, Theodore again. On his backhand, put it in front. Trying to get it to a teammate, a deflected puck though. And then McNabb's got a piece of it. It goes out through center. Ekholm to his own end. Hounded by Jack Eichel. Loose puck comes off the back of the cage. Eichel reached in, could not get possession though. Instead it's Cody Ceci for Edmonton. 13 minutes to go, third period. Vegas 4, Edmonton 2. Oilers in on the right side. A centering pass and a shot. Diving save by Hill. Stops Ekholm. Looked like he had half an empty cage. Hill got over. Sliding to his right. Got a piece with his right arm. Now it's in the left corner for the Oilers. Theodore knocks it free. Out to the line, kept in. Ekholm floats it right. Bouchard trying to settle the waffling puck. Feeds it back across the grade. Theodore deflects it away. Knights starting out. Marchessault to the left. Barbashev across the red line dumps it in. That's two big saves for Hill.
Yeah, he's had a good start to the period.
Oilers coming ahead. Trouble in the neutral zone. Ryan lost it. Hay back in his own end. Pitches it forward. It bounces through Stevenson. Chandler will race to the puck and get it. Drop pass. Right wing shot. Save. Loose puck. Knocked away. Bouchard saved the goal. Oilers ahead on the right wing side. Kulak, the defenseman, run off by Haig to the near corner. Whitecloud, the free puck behind his net. Using the far wall, he clears the zone, and Hobson skids down. It is an icing. 11:49 to go in the third period. Vegas 4, Edmonton 2.
Both teams have had good chances, and both goalies come up big for their teams. Yeah, Ekholm, really great work by Hill to get into the right position. He sees the pass, and he sees the puck get on. He is looking at Ekholm's stick when the puck hits it, and he gets his body, follows his eyes, and he stares him down and beats him.
Oilers win a left circle faceoff. Bouchard shoots, knocked down in front. Chipped down by Nicholas Hayes. As far as the center logo where Nurse cuts it off. And at the other end, Gary, after an initial save by Campbell, Stone and Bouchard were reaching for the loose puck, and Bouchard knocked it away before Stone could jam it home. Knights clear it again. Only as far as the center logo. Vegas changing one forward. Stone gets on. Kolasar comes on, and now they'll get the rest of the fourth line on. Stevenson and Howden to the bench. Bluger and Carrier replacing them. Oilers dump it in. Haig back to the far corner. Oilers left wing. Hill watches to his right. Around to the near corner. Centering pass. Ends up left circle. Nurse shoots off the outside of the cage. Into the far corner. Carrier engages. Two Oilers are there, plus Nick Haig now. Puck is up against that yellow kick play. Skates and sticks.
4 Oilers below the goal line right now, Dan. Just one defenseman, Bouchard up top.
Martinez defending the trapezoid. Puck finally comes loose. Nurse high on the left. Turns and sends it back down the boards. Two Knights engaged there. Carrier and Bluger. Betty Bluger sends it through center. Off the near side wall. No icing. Perfectly placed clear by Bluger. Talk with Bruce Cassidy on the pregame show. Bluger hadn't played in a month. Might take a little time to get the timing back, but he's played a lot of these games. We talked about it earlier, his postseason experience with the Penguins at the NHL and American League level, plus his time in college. Vegas coming out. Carlson into the zone for Nicholas Waugh. Tied up in the right circle. Comes up the far boards. Oilers on it. Now they go. Nearing the halfway mark of the third period. Vegas leads 4-2. Collision. McNabb checked hard into the left corner. Puck comes around to the near side corner. Vegas controls. And the breakout off a couple of sticks. It does tumble out toward the red line. Oilers take it with Nugent Hopkins. He'll send it in. Behind his own goal, there's Theodore. Hands it off to McNabb. And Vegas on the breakout again. Cut off by Derek Ryan, left wing. Marchessault reaches in. Ryan toward the goal. Knocked away by McNabb. Centering pass. Rattles down front and into the right corner. Oilers have possession there. Eichel reaches in. Kulak shoots. Tipped on. And a save by Hill. Redirected the right side of the net from Ryan McLeod. Hill stays with him at the right post. Glove side for Hill. He has the whistle.
9:30 left in the third period, Dan.
That duration separates the Knights from a series victory. We'll be right back. Presented by Dollar Loan Center. This is the Stanley Cup Playoffs on the Vegas Golden Knights Radio Network.
Bet like the pros with Circa Sports, the official jersey sponsor of the Vegas Golden Knights. Get all the benefits of the world's largest sportsbook right at your fingertips with the Circa Sports app. Experience the highest betting limits, lowest hold percentage, and the best customer service. Download your new bookie today and bet like a pro from anywhere in Nevada. CircaSports.com, the official jersey sponsor of the Vegas Golden Knights.
UMC, your hometown hospital since 1931, is proud to partner with our hometown team, the Vegas Golden Knights. As the team's exclusive hospital provider, we stand ringside, ready to keep our Golden Knights in top shape, just as we stand by our community with the highest level of care in the state. It's UMC's commitment to excellence for everyone in our hometown. Visit us online at umcsn.com.
Hey, Golden Knights fans. Luck is overflowing at Yamava Resort and Casino at San Manuel, Southern California's home of huge prizes and jackpots. Stay at our 4-star resort and experience world-class gaming, dining, and entertainment like never before. This March, don't miss your chance to win a 2023 Maserati Levante GT or up to $100,000 every Thursday. Details at Yamava.com. Must be 21 to enter. Please gamble responsibly.
Back to more Vegas Golden Knights Stanley Cup playoff action with Dan Duba and Gary Lawler.
Jonathan Marchessault with career playoff goals 24, 25, and 26. Knights franchise postseason goals leader. 3 better than Mark Stone, 5 better than Will Carlson. Riley Smith remains tonight's postseason points leader. He scored the Knights' first goal today, second in as many games and second of the playoffs. And Jonathan with a natural hat trick in the second period. Oilers win a right circle draw, bouncing around McDavid. Bouchard right goal line, shot it off the right side of the cage. Pietrangelo backhands it along, but not out. Kane right point, shoots it, bangs off the boards, it rattles around in front. One of the Oilers goes down. Vegas can't clear it though. Out high again, Bouchard on the right. Bottom of the right circle. Kane shoots it through the net mouth off somebody across to the far wall. Howden coming out. 2-on-1. Howden with Stone. On the right side. Howden delays. To the middle. He shoots. Save. Campbell got a piece with his left arm. Stone had already buzzed by, so no rebound chance. Oilers coming ahead. Off the stick at the Vegas line. Whitecloud retreats. Whitecloud banks it off the end wall for Nick Hague. Using the board. Sends it ahead. Look out. Draisaitl went down and then collides with the referee. The referee appears to be injured. Knights in the offensive zone now. Around behind the goal on the left wing. On the near boards, Marchessault blows a tire. Gave the puck away as he tried to curl down the boards on the left wing. Edmonton coming out. They lose it at the Vegas line. Off in the cloud. Marchessault sends it along to Whitecloud. Right side of the neutral zone. Whitecloud dumps it in.
Marchessault's been fantastic. Every decision he's made with the puck, he's been right on. He's handled the puck well, and he scored 3.
Edmonton comes in on the right wing side. Fourth line for the Knights comes on. Bouchard trying to pass it through Will Carrier, but he's got help along the boards from Colasar. Edmonton forced to back it up. Bluger in pursuit of Nurse. Bluger fighting for the puck near the red line. Oilers once again have to go back to their own blue line. Bouchard fires ahead. Waugh reaches in, and so the puck comes down into the Vegas end without the Oilers pursuing. Now as they change players, Vegas starts it ahead. Waugh for Bluger. A touch pass connects near side of center, and it's dumped in by Riley Smith into the corner. 2 Oilers going back, Kane and Nurse. Rim around, goes right to Whitecloud from the bench. Pitches it down behind the goal. Smith facing the cage from the trapezoid. Drops it off left corner for Nicholas Waugh. Left point for Nick Hague. Left circle, Nick Waugh. Coming out high to the middle for a shot off an Oilers stick. Cleared out. A tip puck, so no icing as it comes near Aiden Hill. Sets it up for Nick Hague into the trapezoid behind the goal. Chased by Yamamoto. Banks it to White Cloud near corner. Zach fires forward through center, but it's an icing. 7:02 to go, third period. Vegas 4, Oilers 2. Neither side has scored in the third period. Knights got 1 in the first, 3 in the second. Oilers got their only 2 in the first 3 minutes of the game after the Knights had a 1-0 lead.
Shots now 34-20 in favor of the Oilers. Vegas has had, I think, 2 shots this period, Dan.
And it's 3. Oilers have 6.
Yeah.
Edmonton wins the left circle faceoff. Ekholm challenged by Stone out high. A point shot that hits the iron. Goes up and out of play. Ends up in the far corner. Trying to see where that hit. Looks like it hit the outside of the left post. Or the hard to tell for sure. It was such a drive from the left point. In any case, it's out of play. Timeout. Under 7 minutes to play in the third period. Knights 4, Oilers 2. Presented by Dollar Loan Center. This is the Stanley Cup playoffs on the Vegas Golden Knights Radio Network.
Calling all Vegas Golden Knights fans, terrible game day giveaway is back, and we're teaming up with Bud Light. Shop in store at your local participating Terribles and make a purchase of $10 or more. Scan your Terribles app at the register and automatically earn game entries on every purchase. Score a $1,000 Vegas Golden Knights shopping spree plus 2 tickets to a home game this season. Every day is game day, exclusively at Terribles. Visit Terribles.com for details.
The playoffs are here, and Golden Knights fans can discover why BetMGM is the king of sportsbooks. Download the BetMGM app today and make every playoff game mean more than ever. Go for the goal with BetMGM, an official sports betting partner of the NHL and the Vegas Golden Knights.
BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly and offer resources to help you make appropriate choices. BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 plus to wager. Nevada only. Please gamble responsibly. For help, please call 1-800-522-4700. MGMResorts.com/GameSense.
We believe your banker should say what they'll do and do what they say. Not one time, but every time. It's not about making promises. It's about keeping them. That's the kind of accountability you'll get from Bank of Nevada, a division of Western Alliance Bank, member FDIC. Find an entrepreneurial banking expert who can help drive results for your business at bankofnevada.com.
Back to more Vegas Golden Knights Stanley Cup playoff action with Dan Duba and Gary Lawless.
One way or another, the Golden Knights will not be playing in Edmonton the rest of this season. Knights will try to play their last game of against the Oilers here in this one. Edmonton fighting for the puck on the left side. Crowd wants a penalty call. Neither referee has his arm up. Centering pass from the left corner goes by Bouchard and out of the zone. Ekholm down on his knees, looking to the referee. He went down in the heat area.
It looks fine now.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he thought he got a stick in the face. He was facing the far side. In the neutral zone, Knights with pressure, a steal for Barbashev. Drops it off. Marchessault rips it on. Saved by Campbell. He holds it for the whistle. With 6:14 to go. Well, there was a bouncing puck near the Knights net. Went into the circle. Everybody was reaching for the puck. Ekholm collided with Watt.
Stick goes nowhere near his face.
Ekholm goes down.
Bleeding. Something happened to him.
Well,
he
did get high stuff.
Yeah, he got it from
Nick Watt.
That's a miss. Absolutely. The referees will take note of that.
Oilers would have faced Knights would have faced off. McNabb banks it wide left from the point. It ends up around behind the goal. Oilers have had one power play in the game. Knights have had 2. The Weeks team has taken 2 minors. One of the penalties that the Knights took was during a power play. So the Oilers had 4-on-4. Then on the right side, through the circle, Nurse. He shoots. Hill a pad save to his left. Sharp angle shot, left wing, another save. Off of Hill to the near boards, cleared out by Barbashev. Icing waved off. 5:40 to go in the third period. Vegas 4, Edmonton 2. Oilers left to right. They'll dump it in. Whitecloud got a piece of the dump in with his glove. McLeod follows up, rims it around, too strong. It's out to center. Knights challenging in the neutral zone with Brett Howden and Chandler Stevenson. Kane drops it back to his own end. Oilers need 2 goals to tie. They've got 37 shots on goal. They haven't scored since 2:43 of the first period. They scored 2 goals on their first 2 shots. Knights ahead from right to left. Howden into the zone with Stevenson. Howden got stripped. Oilers coming ahead. Bouchard evades Stone. Gains the line. Off to the left wing. Opens up. Righty on the left side. He shoots. Stops. Loose in front. Corralled by Martinez. Backhands it to the near boards, but it stays in for Bouchard. Across to the left. Now to the point for Kane. He shoots. Off a stick in front. Banging away. It goes into the corner. Yamamoto on it. Into the circle for a shot. That stops. Knocked down by Pietrangelo. Around behind a centering pass. Knocked away. Alec Martinez in the vicinity to get a piece of that shot. Oilers on the right wall. Bouchard, a slap shot. Blocked. Rebound sent to the corner. Another try off the side of the cage. Edcombe was below the goal line. Hill loses his stick as the puck comes out to center. Hill will have a chance to pick up his goal stick as the Oilers regroup. Both sides need to change players. 4 minutes, 15 seconds left, third period. Knights lead 4-2 in Game 6. Oilers right to the goal with a shot on the left to save, and a rebound goes wide. Goal rattled on its pegs, but it stays in position. Action continues. The Knights have cleared the zone. We got a whistle, and apparently the goal rattling on its pegs, but it did land off of position just barely on the left post.
Yeah, Dan O'Rourke went over and gave it a little wiggle and found it and put it back on. We'll see the Oilers. They're going to be politicking pretty heavy now after we see that Ekholm did get high stick right in the face.
Of course, we notice those things because the crowd reacts to it. Yep. Obviously, when the Oilers commit things that the Knights fans wouldn't like, there's no audible reaction here. Timeout. 4:02 left in the third. Knights lead 4-2. Presented by Dollar Loan Center. It's the Stanley Cup playoffs on the Vegas Golden Knights Radio Network.
Imagine if your everyday shopping allowed you to earn points towards a weekend in wine country, a round of golf, tickets to exclusive events, or a new hockey jersey. Through the Foley Food and Wine Society app, members earn points for everyday purchases that they can redeem for everything from a baseball cap to a trip to New Zealand. The Foley Food and Wine Society, the luxury lifestyle community that combines life's greatest passions, world-class wines, exquisite cuisine, and amazing experiences.
Nobody has you covered like Dollar Loan Center with signature loans up to $5,000 in minutes. We have over 50 locations, and to celebrate 25 years, this year we're going all out. We're offering new customers the chance to experience the DLC like never before for free. You heard it right. No fees at all and free interest for a week. Borrow up to $5,000 and keep it for a week. Then all you owe us back is the principal. Stop by one of our over 50 gorgeous locations in Nevada and Utah, and our awesome Dollar Loan Center staff will tell you all about it. Apply at don'tbebroke.com. Give us a call or find a Dollar Loan Center near you. And remember, at DLC, your first loan is free in 2023.
The interest is free. You are still required to repay the principal amount. Licensed by the Nevada Financial Institutions Division. Customer must meet the loan qualifications. For review loan qualifications, visit don'tbebroke.com. Certain limitations may apply. Loans are subject to approval.
Back to more Vegas Golden Knights Stanley Cup playoff action with Dan Duba and Gary Lawless.
Golden Knights 4, Oilers 2. 4 minutes left in the third period. It's Game 6. Center ice faceoff. Nick Waugh wins it for the Knights. Backwards to Whitecloud. From the far side of center, he dumps it in. No icing. Campbell makes the play behind his net. Waugh steps to it. Joined by Smith in the right corner. Carlson down low as well. Knights leading 4-2. They trailed 2-1. They took a 4-2 lead in the second period. Jonathan Marchessault, though, scored 3 consecutive goals. 3:35 to go. Oilers coming out and into the Vegas end. Campbell goes to the bench. Sixth attacker coming off. Carlson deep in his own zone with Nicholas Hayes. On the far boards, who will get the puck in the corner. Carlson trying to get position for the Knights. He gets shoved a few times. McDavid is there. Kane is there. Comes down high Ekholm. To the right for Bouchard. He shoots. Tipped on save. Rebound swatted away by Carlson. 3:15 to go. Cleared out by Nick Waugh. And it goes as far as the Oilers line. Knights change a couple of players. Oilers are back in onside. Right wing and down to the corner they go. Hyman played it up the wall. Draisaitl to the point. Bouchard. Ekholm winds up. Pulls. Passes left corner. Eichel was defending Ekholm out high. Out at the right goal line. Draisaitl tried a shot. Several players in the way. It's in the right corner. Fighting for the puck. Comes down high for Bouchard. Righty at the right point. He'll bank it down into the corner again. McDavid at the right goal line. Charges behind. Eichel stays with him. Errant pass goes out to center. Draisaitl cuts it off at the center red line. 2:35 to go, third period. Knights lead 4-2 in Game 6. McDavid right circle, swings and misses. Eichel reached in on McDavid, knocks it loose. It's in the corner. Daya fight for the puck on the near side. Eichel and McDavid tangle it. Puck comes down high to the left for Ekholm. Bouchard straight on. Right circle, Draisaitl. He shoots. Knocked away. Off the Kane, and it goes behind the goal. Kane escapes Martinez. Banks it out high for Bouchard. Left point. He shoots. Blocked in front by Eichel. Now Nick Hague clears the zone. It's off the wall. Not enough for icing, and the Oilers will recover the puck with 2 minutes to go, third period. Trailing 4-2. Knights get new players on the ice.
What a shift from Hague. Eichel, Martinez battling. Martinez stays out.
Pietrangelo coughs it up to Fogle in the left corner. Fogle put it right back into the skates of Pietrangelo. Stone along the wall. Fails to clear. Howden goes in to help out. Oilers keep it. Put in front. Kicked away by Martinez. Chipped off the near side boards by Bluger. It'll go into the Oilers zone. 1:35 to go in Game 6. A win clinches the series for Vegas. Oilers left to right. They'll send it in. Pietrangelo cuts it off. Banks it off the bench side of the ice and out to the neutral zone. Oilers left to right. It's a 6-on-5 here. They have pulled Campbell for the sixth attacker. Nice off the near side boards. Chipped through center by Bluger. Smith fights for the puck. Flips it across the line. Could not send it all the way in. Back to the Vegas line. Controlled by the Knights. It's McNabb. Near side. Forward to Smith. Trying to tip it in, but it goes to Bouchard. Forward pass. Oilers back in right side. Draisaitl. Draisaitl along the right side for Bouchard. Pass deflected and a shot wide left. It goes to the far side. A minute to go, third period. Knights leading 4-2 in Game 6. On the right side, Draisaitl. Bouchard fires, blocked by Smith. Bouchard gets it again. Bouchard high on the left side. Pass broken up. Vegas coming out. Carlson has it open. Pass to the cage. Carlson scores. Empty net goal. 5-2 Knights. 38 seconds to go in Game 6. First goal of the series for the new dad, William Carlson. Save that puck for Beckham.
The Misfits are sending the Golden Knights to the Western Conference Final. Marchessault with 3, Carlson with 1, Smith with 1, and a 5-2 lead for the Golden Knights. Originals. OGs, what do you want to call them? The best thing of all, the Golden Misfits. Carlson, Smith, and Marchessault, all fantastic in a Game 6 clincher.
We asked William Carlson about this moment, having gotten so far in the playoffs, reaching the playoffs now in 5 of their 6 seasons, but they've never won it. Talked about the pride factor. He said, definitely. Knights send it in. 20 seconds to go. Desharnais behind his net. 15 seconds left. Knights up by 3. Oilers send it in. A bouncing puck near Aiden Hill. Whitecloud is there to kill the clock. Final 10 seconds. Bounce it around side of the net. Over to the far boards with 5 seconds. Kolasar is there to kill the clock. The game is over. The series is over. Knights advance to the Western Conference Final. Dispatch the Oilers in 6 games. Final score, Vegas 5, Edmonton 2. The Golden Knights advance to the Western Conference Final. Their first time in the third round since they played the Montreal Canadiens in 2021. It is the 4th time in 6 years they will get to the NHL's semifinal round. Once have they advanced. A few other times, well, you know the story. Handshakes in Edmonton. Oilers season comes to a close in the second round after beating the Kings. They were down in that series 3-2. Won Game 6 and 7 to advance. They don't get as far this year as they did under year 1 of Jay Woodcroft, their head coach. got to the conference final before getting swept by the Avalanche, last year's Stanley Cup champions. This year, the Oilers, who finished the regular season just 2 points behind the Golden Knights, won 3 out of the 4 regular season meetings. They win just a couple out of the 6 meetings here in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Adin Hill records his 3rd victory of the series. Laurent Brossoit got the first one, but after Brossoit was injured, Hill comes on. First win in relief, last 2 as a starter in games 5 and 6. Today, Adin Hill makes 39 saves on 41 Oilers shots. The Golden Knights put 5 on the board. Smith second of the playoffs. Marchessault with goals 3, 4, and 5 of the playoffs. And William Karlsson, 5th goal of the Stanley Cup playoffs. The original Misfits provide the offense in a 5-2 Golden Knights victory. The Knights are marching on to the 3rd round, where they will face the winner of the Seattle Kraken and the Dallas Stars in the Western Conference Final. The series will start in Las Vegas.
Adin Hill went to a level tonight, Dan. And the Oilers fans are saluting their players. Players not really interested in much of a wave to them here. It's a half-hearted salute, and they're off. They're clearly a disappointed group, and they should be. They have a Stanley Cup roster. They just came up against the deepest team in the National Hockey League. Team that could go 5 deep in net this year. A team that, saw Alex Pietrangelo, their best two-way defenseman, miss a full game. They still got a victory, and then they came in here tonight, and they rolled all 4 lines, used all 60. And Adin Hill, I got to get back to this. He went to places tonight, Dan. We've seen him a couple of times this season have very, very good games. He didn't start this early, but after giving up the second goal, wow. Down the stretch of the 3rd, late in the 2nd, he made some big, big saves. Not just shot blocking stuff. We're talking about athleticism and competing and going after places to make huge saves.
In 2015, Adin Hill was 17 years old, playing for the Portland Winterhawks in the WHL. His Winterhawks lost in the Western Conference Final. Who was the opponent? Any guesses, Gary? Kelowna.
Oh, I was going to say the Edmonton Oil Kings.
Kelowna, led by Leon Draisaitl, who went on to win the MVP of the finals in the WHL that year. Hill had already beaten Shea Theodore and the Seattle Thunderbirds earlier on. So Adin Hill gets a measure of revenge against Leon Draisaitl. Didn't give up any goals to Draisaitl. The 7 that Draisaitl scored in this series, 7 points, 6 goals. Those were in the first few games of the series. Adin Hill gets the win to clinch the series. The first time that Hill has been in net for a clincher since he was in the Calder Cup playoffs against the San Jose Barracuda 5 years ago. Lost in the 2nd round to the Texas Stars. Did not play in the first round against the Winnipeg Jets. Comes on in relief of Laurent Brossoit. Plays every minute after Brossoit's injury. Hill victorious and improves his postseason record, as we mentioned earlier, to 3-1 after a 16-7-1 regular season. It was 6-2 down the stretch before his injury in Florida on March 7th. They have those up. That's a record of 9-2. If you go back and include that time, February into March, plus this time here in May. And as we all know, the wins in May are remembered much longer than the wins in February and March.
Jack Eichel is wondering, why the hell didn't they get to the playoffs earlier? His first run to the playoffs, and he's well over a point a game. There's a monster in Game 5, and then picks up an assist in Game 6, was on the ice late, dogging McDavid. Had another tremendous two-way game, and in his first trip to the postseason, he's playing for a trophy, the Campbell Bowl in the Western Conference Championship. And Jack will tell you, that's not the trophy he wants. There's another one he's got his eye on.
Now, the trick is you've got to win one before you get to the next.
There you go.
We'll recap the goals
Danny,
here.
Always the voice of reason. Never letting me get ahead of myself.
Someone's got to tug on the reins here.
Stop it.
Here we go with the scoring today. We will have a live interview in moments, so stand by for that. Knights scored the first goal of the game. That has not happened in this series. They come back and win. They're now 3-0 when they score first, by the way. Not that this was quite as simple as that. Smith scored 24 seconds in after the Oilers coughed it up in their own zone. Riley's second in as many games. First 2 goals of the playoffs here in games 5 and 6. That was responded Connor McDavid 31 seconds later from Kulak and Kane. McDavid's 8th of the playoffs and his 5th of the series. And then at 2:43, 1 minute 48 seconds later, Fogle scored his second of the playoffs from Derek Ryan and Ryan McLeod. That second goal at 2:43. 2 goals on the first couple of shots from the Oilers. They did not beat Adin Hill the rest of the day. 39 consecutive saves after those 2 goals. Knights were trailing 2-1 after 1. No penalties were scored. No penalties were called in the first. No additional goals were scored in the first either. 2-1 after 1, just as it was for Game 5. And in the second period, just like in Game 5, the Knights got 3 goals. Difference compared to Game 5 is that one player scored all 3. Marchessault from Barbashev and Theodore. Marchessault from Martinez and Barbashev. And then at 4-on-4, Marchessault from Pietrangelo and Eichel. Natural hat trick for Marchessault. Second career playoff hat trick for Jonathan. Goals 3, 4, and 5 of the playoffs. And in this series, look out, 5 goals and 3 assists. 8 points for Marchessault in the second round. And then in the third period, plenty of attempts for the Oilers. Outshot the Knights 13-5 in the third. But the last of those 5 from Vegas went into an empty cage for William Karlsson. 5th goal of the playoffs, first in this series. Lone assist to Nicholas Waugh. He now has 4 points in this series. And the Golden Knights finished it off with just 39 seconds to play. Hold on, defeat the Oilers 5-2, win the series 4-2, move on to the Western Conference Final. For the 4th time in franchise history, they will appear in the NHL's semifinal round. The only time they did not get there was in year 2, when against the San Jose Sharks, they had a 3-0 lead halfway through the third period, only to lose in overtime. Other than that, Gary, they have found their way to the third round 4 times. Once victorious, knocked out the Jets to reach the Stanley Cup final in 2018. The other 2 occasions, losing to the Dallas Stars in the Edmonton bubble right here in this building. Stars eventually losing to the Lightning in the final. And then the following year, in Montreal, lost to the Canadiens. And once again, the Lightning victorious against the team that knocked out the Knights, beat the Canadiens. So now the question is, how will the Knights fare in the in the third round, the 4th time they reach it? Seattle Kraken and Dallas Stars, Game 7 tomorrow to decide who will face the Golden Knights.
There was talk last season when the Golden Knights missed the playoffs. You know, the team was old. Kelly McCrimmon and George McPhee had, put too much stock into the likes of Stone, Pietrangelo, Eichel. A lot of nonsense talk about, the Golden Knights are going to have to start rebuilding at Christmas time. Couldn't believe some of the things I read. And this needs to be said. The Golden Knights have won 9 playoff rounds in their 6-year existence. They've been to the Final Four, as you have eloquently said, 4 times, and they've been to a Stanley Cup. George McPhee and Kelly McCrimmon are among the very best in the National Hockey League at what they do. Their hockey operations staff, it's not just them. Bill Foley and his mission, what he asks of the organization, Kerry Bubolz and his leadership on the corporate side, and then getting to the Final Four, this doesn't happen. There's 4 teams left, and they're among them 4 times since they joined the National Hockey League. Now, they're not interested in any praise or taking any bows. They got one thing on their mind, and as you said, you got to win one before you can play for the other. Well, they're playing for it again.
The Edmonton Oilers, in that period of time, have won 1, 2, 3 playoff series.
Well, the Toronto Maple Leafs, they're talking about that. People are writing today that Kyle Dubas needs to be renewed. I don't know if he does or not, but one of the things they're saying is that he's won one playoff round in 5 years, but he's one of the best in the league at his job. Fine. No disrespect. You can keep Kyle. I'll take McPhee and McCrimmon.
And they have a great deal more experience
lapped the competition
and wisdom, given their years in hockey, both at the professional and amateur level. And, yeah, I mean, the numbers are what they are. The Knights have not pulled it up, but boy, oh boy, they have been the team to beat. Alec Martinez, we understand, is downstairs. Do we have Alec?
Yeah, unfortunately so for you guys. Pulled the short straw.
We are glad to have you, Alec. Congratulations. Well, where to begin here? This was the first time that the Oilers have lost consecutive games in regulation since February. You guys beat them in 6 games. I guess we'll start with this. How did you do it?
I think just sticking to our game plan. I thought that, early in the series, obviously getting in some penalty trouble. I thought that as the series went on, we got better and better on the PK, and we got better and better at staying out of the box. I mean, I think even last game at home, they got a few gratuitous bounces, and I think, I know it sounds odd that you gave up 3 PK goals, but I thought that it was probably our best showing, before tonight. So, I think that it's hard to stay patient within your game, sometimes just within a game or a period or a whole series. But, I'm proud of the way the guys did that. We truly believe that we were a better team 5-on-5, and I think that we showed that.
Alec, I asked you a while ago about blocking shots, and you said scoring goals was more fun than blocking shots. You can tell me that for free. That was your exact quote. And then I asked you.
That's still very true.
And then I asked you, why do you do it? And you said, because I want to win, and that's what you have to do to win. And 5 blocks last night. I haven't seen the number tonight, but I bet you it's right around there again. You're still doing the things that it takes to win games.
Well, I mean, I try to play the game the right way. I think that some of the things that I do don't necessarily show up on the score sheet, but it's not just me. I mean, you see, there was a lot of huge blocks. I mean, a few come to mind. Petro had a ton. Nabbers had a bunch throughout the series. Carly had a big one. There's a lot tonight. Teddy Bluger had a real big one in the first period. So, I don't think that I'm alone in wanting the puck to hit them, and I think that like I said before, it's an essential part of the game now. If you want to be successful and you want to win, and I think that the guys believe that in here, and it's one thing to believe it, and it's another thing to step in front of one of those things. So I'm really proud of those guys.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to suggest it was just you. I think you lead, but I think a lot of guys follow. You blocked 5 tonight, by the way. Aiden Hill comes on in the middle of this series, and I think he went to a real high level tonight, late in the second, and then in the third as well. What are your thoughts on your goalie?
I mean, absolutely. I think that's not easy. Him coming off that injury, hadn't played in a while. And then step into a playoff series as emotional and revved up as this one was. And, he answered the bell. He made some, incredible saves when he went in. All the games that he played, and I mean, he had some huge ones here in the third period tonight. I mean, it's, he's a professional. He's been staying ready. He works hard. He does all the things off the ice to be successful on the ice, and really happy for him and his success, and that's going to be a big part of our team's success going forward.
Dan talked a lot about Game 5 being a team win. I talked about it being an organizational win because you had Hill, Bluger, and Hutton all playing important pieces. Tonight again, John Stevens goes with all 60. Haig's out there late, White Cloud late, yourself, and then the 4 forward lines, they rolled as well. Is it more fun to win when every guy on the bench has a big hand in what gets accomplished?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's, kind of what I mentioned earlier. It's a testament to our depth. You got to give credit to Huddy too, stepping in yesterday or last game. Playing really well for us. Taking a stick to the face too, and that's never fun. It's also in order to win, you kind of gotta. Well, I guess it's scored by committee, but everyone's got to be involved. You got to be able to roll 4 lines. Everyone's got to contribute. If you have only a couple good lines, that's gonna expose itself over the course of a 7-game series. And really proud of the guys. I think the guys are really into it. We certainly have a great group that. I think Butch said it the other day that we genuinely love coming to work and being around each other, and you see that in the laughs and off the ice and the jokes that we have, the camaraderie, and then that certainly translates on the ice and everyone being involved, everyone contributing, and that saves a lot of energy that allows us to play at a high pace when we're rolling 4, rolling 6, and it's awesome to be a part of.
Last thing, Alec, and by the way, 2 assists in as many games. Got to throw that in there too.
You're going to blind squirrel finds it, not everyone.
You've now done this 114 times. Today, your 114th career Stanley Cup playoff games. I'm sure you've learned a lot through the years. What have you learned about this group and your younger players who haven't been through nearly as many games as you have? What do you hope that they have learned now through 2 rounds of this year's postseason?
I think that we can learn from. Well, first of all, the younger guys that haven't gone through it. They've done a hell of a job. And you need that. You need young guys to infuse some energy into the team, play some big minutes, contribute. But I'd say with this series specifically, I think it was very back and forth until just these past 2 games, and I think that the first 4 kind of alternated and who was outplayed the other team, and I think it's important that even if you do have a bad game, it's a 7-game series. You got to stick with it, and I kind of mentioned it earlier where you got to stay patient within your game and trust your game plan, and I think the guys did that. I think there was definitely times, especially game 4, the way that game ended, things, get a little rowdy at the end there, but guys stayed composed. They stayed patient in the game plan. They stayed confident, and there's a reason you play 7, and you can't get too high, too low. I think I said that before the playoffs, and you just after each game you got to reset, and that's the same. We just won a series. We can enjoy it now, but this is not by any means what we wanted to accomplish. We're not there yet, so. Enjoy it now, but then you got to reset and refocus, and it's back to work whenever we start again a few days from now.
Alec, thank you. Congratulations.
Thanks, guys.
3 assists in the series for Alec Martinez, and the Knights victorious in Game 6. Final score: Vegas 5 and Edmonton 2. Almost forgot the empty netter. They can't do that. And again, the final score 5-2. Vegas knocks out the Oilers. Edmonton victorious in its opening round against the Kings. Knights victorious against the Jets. They were the top 2 teams in the Western Conference, Gary. They don't meet in the Western Conference final because they were in the same division. They meet in the second round. And heck, think about from an Oilers point of view. They got to the Western Conference final last year, hadn't been there in a long time, and they get swept by Colorado. So you're thinking, organizationally take the next step. Instead of taking a step forward and advancing from the conference final, they take a step back. They don't even get to the conference final this year.
Yeah, listen, there's lots to like about the Oilers. Obviously, they have the 2 best offensive players in the world. That's a really good start. You wonder about some of the coaching decisions in this series. You yanked Skinner 3 times, and Campbell was near perfect in in his work. Why didn't he start at some point in time? That'll be something that the Oilers will be wondering quite a bit about. And then, loading up as often as they did, putting McDavid and Draisaitl together. I get it. It's a really good option for you late in a period or late in a game, but they went to it early and often so much. They really took their middle six right out of the series in that respect. There are probably some injuries. Vander Kane didn't look like himself. Draisaitl didn't look like himself. But Vegas, they're on their. Listen, let's take Robin Leonard out of the equation. But Logan Thompson and Laurent Brossoit were eventually going to be the top goalies for the Golden Knights. But Aiden Hill came in. Kelly McCrimmon made that trade late in the summer, and Hill came in. And if you had asked me in March which guy would I have gone through amongst the four, I would have looked real hard at Aiden Hill. And tonight, put it this way, I'm not sure Vegas wins this game not without Aiden Hill, but with another netminder in net. That he went to a level we didn't see many of their other goalies go to this year very often.
They took one of the Oilers' shots off the board, so 40 is the total, meaning Aiden stopped the last 38 consecutive shots he faced after giving up 2 goals on the first 2 shots of the game in the first 2:43 of the first. By the way, only one other time in franchise history have the Knights and opponent scored on their first shot each, and it was earlier this year, the Knights' victory against the Oilers in this building in March. How about that? And it happens again. Knights led 1-0, fell behind 2-1 in the first 3 minutes of the game, trailed 2-1 after 1, then Marchessault's hat trick, natural style, in the second. Knights led 4-2 after 2, and then in the third period, the empty net goal from William Karlsson to seal it. And the Knights advance with a 5-2 win, the series victory of 4-2. They'll play the Stars or the Kraken in the Western Conference Final. And regardless of who they face, the storylines popping, either the 2 newest teams in the NHL or the Knights against their old coach, Pete DeBoer. Game 7 tomorrow.
No Game 7 on Tuesday.
No Game 7 for this series.
No. We'll go back to what Bruce Cassidy said this morning. Jay Woodcroft trying to get into the Golden Knights' heads. Let's call it what it was. Saying the pressure is on the Golden Knights. The pressure is on the Golden Knights. Jay's been a coach in the NHL for about 15 months. Bruce Cassidy has been doing it quite a bit longer. And Bruce took that comment and said, first of all, he said, I'll talk about my team. I'm not going to talk about and the only time he talked about the Oilers in this series was to pay them compliments. And he did it a number of times after all their wins, said how good they were. But then he said, pressure, I think of pressure as what firefighters and police officers go through to keep our community safe. What I know is our team is getting up and flying back to Vegas tomorrow to play another game no matter what. Meaning it was either going to be a Game 7 against the Oilers or Game 1 of the Western Conference Final. Well, we now know what that no matter what is. It's Game 1 of the Western Conference Final.
We don't know when it'll start. We know it will be in Las Vegas. Details to come. We've got lots coming on the postgame show. Ryan Wallace will have the highlights. They'll have locker room reaction and, of course, your phone calls on the extended postgame show. That wraps it up from here, Gary. We'll give you the final numbers. 5-2, the Knights dispatched the Edmonton Oilers. After losing 3 out of 4 in the regular season, the Knights win 4 out of 6 here in this second-round series. The first time that these clubs meet during the Stanley Cup playoffs. As Gary pointed out earlier, the Knights have now won 9 playoff series since they came into existence, starting with the 2018 Stanley Cup playoffs. And now for the 4th time in 5 playoff runs, they have reached the 3rd round. Got to the Stanley Cup final 1 time. Again, the final 5-2 Vegas wins. Winning goaltender Aiden Hill, 38 saves on 40 shots. He went the distance, stopped the last 38 in a row. 35 shots at even strength, an additional 5 during the Oilers' lone power play. The loss goes to the starter Stuart Skinner. Gave up 4 goals on 17 shots, played 2 periods of hockey. Jack Campbell came on, stopped the 4 shots that he faced in the third. He was pulled for the last 3 minutes of the game. Knights survived that 6-on-5 attack. With Hill's victory, he is 3-1. The loss for Skinner, he's now 5-6, and his Stanley Cup postseason is over. Stars of the game. Warren Fogle is the game's number 3 star with a goal. Fogle scored his second of the series and second of the playoffs. 9th career power goal, period, for Fogle. Number 2 star, the aforementioned winning goaltender Adin Hill. And the number 1 star with a natural hat trick, Jonathan Marchessault, who now has 26 playoff goals, most in franchise history. 5 in this series. He's got 5 goals in the playoffs, all of them coming in the second round. Add it all up, 5 goals, 5 assists, 10 points in 11 games in the Stanley Cup playoffs for Jonathan Marchessault. Again, he is today's number 1 star. Time of the game, 2 hours and 28 minutes. And the crowd, 18,347. The final game at Rogers Place this year. When the Knights will be back sometime next regular season. We are hoping for early November, perhaps the day after Bruce Springsteen plays here at Rogers Place. That would be perfect. We will find out another time. Next up for the Knights, we don't know. It'll be the Stars, it'll be the Kraken, one or the other in the Western Conference Final. It will be at T-Mobile Arena. We do not know what day, but stay tuned. You'll find out soon enough. Again, the final, Vegas 5, Edmonton 2 in Game 6. Knights advance. That'll wrap it up from the broadcast booth. Big thanks to our engineer throughout this series in Edmonton, Jerry Dombrowski. Always a pleasure, Jerry. Thank you for everything. We'll see you next year. See if you can get Springsteen tickets for us, would you? Okay, thank you. Big thanks to our broadcast assistant, Justin Russo, our statistician extraordinaire, Ray LeBeth, and, of course, big thanks to Bobby Machado back in our studio. For Golden Knights insider Gary Lawless, this is Dan Duva saying so long from Edmonton. Happy Mother's Day, and have a great night, everybody. Post-game show is next with Ryan Wallace, presented by Dollar Loan Center. You've been listening to the Stanley Cup Playoffs on the Vegas Golden Knights Radio Network.
Thanks for listening to the Vegas Golden Knights Radio Network. Vegas Golden Knights Hockey. Stay tuned for the Vegas Golden Knights post-game show coming up next here on the Vegas Golden Knights Radio Network.
That's the sound of me prepping the grill with Reynolds Wrap. And the sound of me not doing dishes. And the sound of me spending more time outside with my family.
Easy prep, cook, and clean. Make time with Reynolds Wrap.
I like the sound of that.
En Toyota sabemos que empiezas a vivir un verano al máximo cuando cambias esto por esto. O cuando cambias esto por esto.
Helado ice cream.
Y por supuesto cuando cambias esto por esto. Comenzó verano al máximo de Toyota. Ven y cambia tu auto por una nueva RAV4, Camry, Tundra o tu modelo favorito. Solo hasta el 31 de mayo. Toyota, vayamos juntos. El inventario puede variar. Visita tu concesionario participante para más detalles.
Are you tired of TV and radio ads pushing bankruptcy? We are too. At Panda Law Firm, we file a lot of bankruptcies. In fact, in the past 12 years, we've filed thousands. But in that time, we've also helped countless clients avoid bankruptcy through debt settlement and have saved them millions of dollars.
Call Panda Law, 702-818-3888.
Why file bankruptcy if you don't have to or don't want to? We're so confident in our services that if we don't settle your debt and save you money, we'll file your fresh start bankruptcy with no additional fee. That's right. If we can't settle your debt, we won't charge you a dime for the bankruptcy. So, give us a call and get out of debt the right way, your way, the Panda way. Call Panda for no fee bankruptcy details.
Call Panda Law, 702-818-3888.
It's time for the Vegas Golden Knights postgame show presented by AAA Insurance. Now here's Ryan Wallace on the Golden Knights Radio Network.
Welcome in to tonight's postgame show presented by AAA Insurance. The Vegas Golden Knights defeat the Edmonton Oilers 5-2. and take this second-round matchup in 6 games on to the Western Conference Final for the Vegas Golden Knights, the 4th time in franchise history, 6 seasons, that the Golden Knights will be among the NHL's Final Four. To help us break this one down, we go back up to the radio booth, bring in Dan Duva, the voice of the Vegas Golden Knights. And you know what, Dan, you look at this game, and we'll start with the Misfits. We'll start with Riley Smith and William Karlsson and a natural hat trick from Jonathan Marchessault. It feels like unfinished business, and the Misfits get the job done in an elimination game tonight for Vegas.
Yeah, Gary was already standing, so I was going to say he almost jumped out of his chair. He was already standing when he exclaimed it was the Misfits who produced the 5 goals here today. And that is fitting, given the way that the Knights have put this series together. When they have won, it has been with a team effort. There have been some individual standout moments. Obviously, a hat trick from Marchessault. He's got consecutive 3-point games, 3 helpers last time out. And he had a terrific goaltending today. But, this, again, just look no further than the time on ice numbers. And you have significant contributions up and down the lineup from this group. And, the Misfit identity is that. Eichel and Pietrangelo are both +4 in the game. We talked about Hill going the distance with the 38 consecutive saves. Will Carrier had the lowest time on ice at 9:11. Bluger just under 11 minutes. Kolesar just under 10 minutes. But on the other side, Kostin played under 4 minutes. Janmark played just about 6. Bukestad played 7. We talked about it earlier. Gary's, coaching question marks on the Oilers side. It seemed to me that the Oilers were at their best when they were using all of their players. They did not come close to that today. When Connor McDavid said we're going to have our best game of the series, it wasn't. It wasn't. They have played well at times, but not effectively enough. They did not look like the best version of the Oilers down the stretch. And part of that was also the fact that the Knights got back to their identity. This was kind of what I was getting to, that they didn't take penalties today. The Knights, the fewest times shorthanded during the regular season, not only this year, but if you go by time shorthanded per game, since they started tracking it, 1977, top 5 ever. Top 5 for fewest times shorthanded per games. That was on display here, Ryan. That, to me, was a big part of this, that there were no power play goals in this game. There was a 4-on-4 goal, but other than that little stretch in the second period between, 2 penalties for each team, that was it. It was 5-on-5 otherwise.
And what's amazing about that is when you look at the 4 wins for the Golden Knights, you're able to hold the Edmonton Oilers to no power play goals in 2 of them, and then you're able to essentially saw it off in terms of your power play coming through in the other 2. And I think for the Golden Knights, it was really a matter of trying to find those timely power play goals to help you win a game throughout the series, and they got that more often than not. That to me was a big story in this one as well.
Yeah, when you think about how this team has struggled in the regular season on special teams, they've never had like a fantastic knock them down, drag them out power play, but they have had really good penalty kill runs their time in the seasons previous. And this obviously was something that you think about in this series in particular, because, the Knights kind of ran away with the first round series. Regular season special teams were not great. How are they going to figure it out in the postseason? Well, the Knights, found their special teams not overall numerically impressive, but timely. They got the kills when they needed. They got the power play goals when they needed, most notably in Game 5. And they do get 2 goals in this series when skating 4 aside. And so you add all of that up. It was a big topic coming into the series, and ultimately the fact that playoff hockey is often determined by 5-on-5 hockey rather than special teams hockey, it makes sense that the Knights pulled it off in the way that they did today.
When you look at Aiden Hill, obviously coming in the middle of the series when Brossoit goes down, and it's a shaky start to the game for sure. You allow 2 goals on your first 2 shots, but then 38 consecutive saves for Aiden Hill. I mean, his ability to turn the page, and we talked about this with Brossoit, the mental side of the game is so dialed in. Everything just kind of flows off the back. Aiden Hill very much the same way, and you saw it tonight in his ability to just kind of flush the first 2.5 minutes and come through with a sparkling performance.
I also wonder, Ryan, how much confidence and comfort Hill takes from the supporting cast around his crease. If I had that group of players in front of me, not that I've ever played goal before, but I would feel pretty good about that group of players in front of me. Not just the defensemen, but how many times did we see the puck near the crease, but Golden Knights players supporting their goaltender? Hill made a save. He was in good position and was supported well. And of course, Hill was fantastic, but I think that he was in that position because he knew that he could be in certain places because his defensemen were going to support him in other ways. As I said earlier, the team effort, it all kind of works hand in hand. The goaltender looks great when he's got support around him. And frankly, on the 2 goals that he gave up, the Knights weren't quite settled in yet. But the rest of the way, Hill was great, and the group around him was great too.
So when you look at, just from an organizational perspective, the fact that this is now the 4th time in Golden Knights history through 6 seasons that they are in the NHL's Final Four. It's another Western Conference Final for the Vegas Golden Knights. I mean, it's hard to contextualize just how great of a stretch it's been for Vegas, especially in the context of not making the playoffs last year. Yet you get the sense that, this team's been there before. They know what they're up against, but it's also another opportunity to see this thing through and get through to the ultimate prize. You can't necessarily take for granted that you're back in the dance here, at least in the Western Conference Final.
Yeah, and it's well said, Ryan. And there's an interesting mix of people involved in all this. You've got the handful of original Golden Knights. We talked at length about Marchessault, Carlson, Smith, Carrier, and then Shea Theodore, Braden McNabb. You've got those originals who were through it all from the beginning. You also have a mix of younger players. Throw in your defensemen like Haig and Whitecloud up front and I guess we'll include Watt, Colasar, Howden among the younger guys. I guess Jack Eichel would technically be a younger guy too. Mm-hmm. Mix that with the veterans who have come from elsewhere, Pietrangelo and Martinez and their Stanley Cup playoff experience. Of course, Mark Stone, and on and on and on. The point is that there's just a little bit of everything. There's just a nice balance of experience, of wisdom, of youth, of hunger. It's all there, and it has, as Gary talked about earlier, been a wise blend of players from the Golden Knights hockey operations department to assemble this group. So, it's not all young guys who've never been to the playoffs. It's not all a bunch of old guys who are trying to hang on for one last run at it. It's not the whole team from the original season, and it's not an entirely different team from the original run. And we've heard it from those guys. Jonathan Marchessault said it the other day, that this group, in terms of its connection to each other, the chemistry within the players' dressing room, it feels as much like it did in that inaugural season as any year in between. I guess that sums it up.
And the beauty of the Golden Knights is that you don't necessarily have to rely on one player, but you start to look at Jack Eichel, what he was able to do in this series, elevating his game. The 9 points, that's fantastic, but the defensive side of the puck continues to get better and better and better. And this has really been a gigantic build for Jack in his first foray into the playoffs.
You can tell, and we've talked with him, how much fun he's having playing in the Stanley Cup playoffs. First time through it all. And that first game, Bruce Cassidy recognized that, hey, you're dipping your toe in the water. The first game wasn't the best. But since then, starting game 2 against Winnipeg right through now, it's been the Jack Eichel you would hope to see. And point out, it's not just points. It's how much he's involved in the defensive zone. He gets from one end of the ice to the other. And, you look at the clinching games here. I mean, he's involved in so many aspects of finishing off the Edmonton Oilers. And Bruce Cassidy brought this up earlier today, Ryan. If you're Jack Eichel, and while you, yes, have been compared to Connor McDavid, they'll be forever linked because they were drafted number 1 and number 2, you're not out to beat Connor McDavid 1 against 1. It's about your team and the collective group beating the other guy's collective group. And does Connor McDavid end up with more points in this series than Jack Eichel? 9 for Jack, and I think it was 10 for McDavid. It's close, right? But clearly, Jack's group, the overall product was better than McDavid's group and overall product. That's what this is about. And Bruce Cassidy explained it much better than I just did, but you get the idea. And Jack has recognized that. And I don't know if he did in the past or not. You know, you're on a bad team in Buffalo. You're never in the playoffs. You're always thinking about beating the one-on-one, the obvious comparisons to star players on other teams. Jack has evolved, whether that's a new revelation or not. And there has been exactly one playoff series between Jack Eichel and Connor McDavid. And Jack Eichel is 1-0 against Connor McDavid.
All right, great stuff as always, Dan. Enjoy the rest of your night, and you know what? We'll chat at some point in the future, and it'll either be as the Golden Knights take on the Dallas Stars or the Seattle Kraken in the Western Conference Final. Have a great one, Dan.
Indeed, and I will also just throw in, they have just added an assist to Riley Smith on Carlson's empty net goal, so Riley Smith gets 2 points today as well. So there you have it. Good night, Ryan. Thanks.
There it is, the voice of the Golden Knights, Dan Duva, helping us break down a 5-2 victory for the Vegas Golden Knights and a 4-2 series victory over the Edmonton Oilers. And with tonight's Golden Knights win, you win as well. Enjoy 31% off menu price pizzas at Pizza Hut tomorrow using the code VGKWINS on PizzaHut.com. We're back with more on the AAA Insurance Postgame Show, presented by Dollar Loan Center. This is the Vegas Golden Knights Radio Network.
Attention Knights fans! Are you looking for the perfect spot to watch the playoffs? Look no further than Betfred at Mohegan Sun Sportsbook. With a $25 wager, you'll be entered for a chance to win lower-level tickets to upcoming playoff games. Join us for the ultimate watch party experience, filled with excitement, energy, and of course, hockey. Head over to the Betfred at Mohegan Sportsbook. Place your bets and let the games begin. See you there. Must be 21 years of age or older. Please game responsibly.
STN Sports is the only sports betting app you need this season. STN Sports has it all. In-play betting, mobile parlay cards, the Play Plus card to fund and withdraw from anywhere in Nevada, and a $50 new sign-up bonus. STN Sports even lets you earn rewards for every bet. Safe and easy betting from your phone or tablet. Go to StationCasinoSports.com or sign up at any Station Casino or Wildfire. Details available at all sports books.
Listen up! Your share at winning over $500,000 in free fuel and products is just a tap away with the Terrible Social House app. Yes! With a qualifying purchase at the pump or in-store, you can shop, spin, and win directly on your phone. Win free products that you can redeem instantly in-store, or, if you're feeling lucky, you could land on free fuel towards your next fill-up. Shop, spin, and win. Download and play today. Terrible. Deliberately different since 1959. Go to Terrible.com for more details.
I'm Danger, a maestro of fear, skilled at scaring you into buying insurance. You've heard my work. It's my job to tell you about the bad stuff that can happen to your car or home. Ready for the big explosion? Here we...
This scare tactic has been interrupted by AAA Insurance. With affordable auto and home insurance, plus America's most recommended roadside, AAA doesn't need scare tactics because we offer coverage confidence. Visit AAA.com for details and choose coverage confidence. AAA. Outsmart life.
We're back to the Vegas Golden Knights postgame show, presented by AAA Insurance. Now, here's your host, Ryan Waller.
AAA Insurance postgame show. The Vegas Golden Knights defeat the Edmonton Oilers 5-2. Take the series in 6 games, and it's on to the Western Conference Final for the Vegas Golden Knights. The 4th time in franchise history that the Golden Knights are among the final 4 teams in the NHL. The postgame injury report is brought to you by UMC, the exclusive hospital of the Vegas Golden Knights. Laurent Brossoit unavailable to the Golden Knights, still out with a lower body injury. No real update timeline on when he may or may not be available, but Adin Hill, phenomenal work in this series. It's so... It goes without saying, right? Like, you see what he was able to do, how he came in, steadied the ship, especially with how well Laurent Brossoit was playing. And you just didn't know if there was going to be a drop-off in terms of goaltending. And as Adin Hill has done all season long, he comes back into the fold after playing really well before he got injured and picks up right where he left off. So big time game tonight for Adin Hill, as you will hear shortly in the highlights. Let's take a look at the highlights in this game. We'll go back to the first period, and for the first time in this series, the Golden Knights open the scoring as Riley Smith got on the board just 24 seconds into the game.
Now a centering pass, and they score! Riley Smith right on it in the slot. And for the first time in this series, the Golden Knights have scored the game's first goal.
Riley Smith, his second of the postseason, unassisted. 24 seconds into the first period, made it 1-0 Vegas. However, Connor McDavid answered just 31 seconds later, beating Aiden Hill far side to tie the game.
Oilers across the line. Right wing McDavid. He shoots. He scores! McDavid sneaks it long side on Aiden Hill. Lefty from the right dot. McDavid ties it 1-1. 2 goals combined in the opening minute of Game 6.
McDavid's 8th of the postseason from Brett Kulak and Evander Kane, 55 seconds into the first period, tied the game at 1. Then the Oilers would take the lead as Warren Foegele chipped in a chance from the slot.
Foegele dumps it in after getting stood up by Smith in the neutral zone. Theodore and McNabb coming back. A centering pass. Score! Foegele clashing from the left side. 2 shots, 2 goals for the Oilers, and they have the lead 2-1.
Warren Foegele's second of the postseason from Derek Ryan and Ryan McLeod at 2:43 of the first period made it 2-1 Edmonton, and then it was vital that Aiden Hill found his game, and he did, coming up with a big-time save.
Pietrangelo double teamed for the puck in the far corner. Oilers get it, fight for the puck. Eichel loses his stick. It's out in front of the shot. Oh, and a kick save by Hill. Barbashev on the puck. He slides it ahead.
Big-time stop there from Aiden Hill to keep it just a 1-goal deficit for the Golden Knights. So the Golden Knights would enter the second period down 1 goal, and they got to their forecheck, hemmed the Oilers in, and it's Jonathan Marchessault tying the game off a great pit pass from Ivan Barbashev.
Now left point shot saved. Rebound score! Jonathan Marchessault finds the garbage in front, pots the goal, ties the game. 2-2. 4 minutes into the second period. Jonathan Marchessault continues his stellar play of late.
Jonathan Marchessault's third of the postseason from Ivan Barbashev and Shea Theodore. 4:26 of the second period tied the game at 2, and the Golden Knights continued to apply the pressure, and Jonathan Marchessault regained the lead for Vegas on his second goal of the period.
Across to the left, Martinez. Slap shot save. Up into the air. Off the post. They score! Marchessault again. And the Knights take a 3-2 lead.
Fourth of the postseason for Jonathan Marchessault. Second of the period from Alec Martinez and Ivan Barbashev. 7:44 the second. Made it 3-2 Vegas. Then the Oilers would get their first power play of the game. And Aiden Hill came up with a huge save for Vegas.
On the left side, pass was broken up. Smith got in the way. McDavid switches to the right for a shot. Saved by Hill. Leaning up against the post on his glove side. He has the whistle.
Then, with the period winding down, Jonathan Marchessault completed the natural hat trick, beating Stuart Skinner clean with a wicked wrist shot.
1 penalty about to expire. It's now 4-on-4 again. Pietrangelo left. Marchessault shoots. He scores! It's a hat trick for Marchessault. The Knights have a 4-2 lead with 1:24 to go in the second period. It's the second playoff hat trick for Jonathan Marchessault.
Hat trick for Jonathan Marchessault. The assist to Alex Pietrangelo and Jack Eichel. 18:36 of the second period made it 4-2 Vegas. We'd head to the third period. The Golden Knights with a 2-goal lead. And Aiden Hill, who had been brilliant since allowing those first 2 goals, made our AAA insurance save of the game.
Oilers in on the right side. A centering pass and a shot. Diving save by Hill. Stops Ekholm. Looked like he had half an empty cage. Hill got over. Sliding to his right. Got a piece with his right arm.
AAA is a proud sponsor of the Vegas Golden Knights, helping you outsmart life on the road and at home with 24/7 roadside assistance, car repair discounts, DMV services, and savings on your home and auto insurance. AAA outsmart life. So Aiden Hill dialed in, and the Golden Knights did a masterful job of defending throughout the third period. And with the net empty for the extra attacker for the Edmonton Oilers, William Karlsson sent the Golden Knights to the conference final with an empty net goal.
Bouchard high on the left side. Pass broken up. Vegas coming out. Karlsson has it open. Pass to the cage. Karlsson scores. Empty net goal. 5-2 Knights. 38 seconds to go in Game 6.
William Karlsson's 5th of the postseason, an empty netter from Nick Waugh and Riley Smith. 19:21 of the third period made it 5-2 Vegas, and all that was left in this game was the final call.
Over to the far boards with 5 seconds. Kolasar is there to kill the clock. The game is over. The series is over. Knights advance to the Western Conference Final. Dispatch the Oilers in 6 games. Final score, Vegas 5, Edmonton 2.
5-2, the final score. The Golden Knights defeat the Edmonton Oilers and take this series 4-2, advancing to the Western Conference Final for the 4th time in 6 seasons. The Golden Knights will play the winner of tomorrow's Game 7, Seattle or Dallas. It's either the two newest teams in the National Hockey League in the Western Conference Final, or it's the Golden Knights against former bench boss Pete DeBoer. We're back with more on the AAA Insurance postgame show, presented by Dollar Loan Center. This is the Vegas Golden Knights Radio Network.
There was a time when business owners expected more from a bank, when their calls would be answered and the products that were offered matched their needs. It was a time when accountability was common. Well, that time is right now at Bank of Nevada. We offer incredible personal service along with a wide range of customizable solutions designed to help your business thrive. Bank on accountability with Bank of Nevada. Learn more at bankofnevada.com, a division of Western Alliance Bank, member FDIC.
Experience the time of your life at Circa Resort and Casino in Las Vegas. Live it up at the world's largest sports book, Circa Sports. Get loose and get loud with all sports, all seasons at Stadium Swim. Take in the $1 million views at our Rooftop Lounge Legacy Club. Go big and go all night with our luxurious rooms and suites. Book the time of your life today. CircaLasVegas.com.
Hi, I'm attorney Adam Kuttner. I grew up playing hockey. To win in hockey, you have to be aggressive, you have to work hard, and you have to have a great team. And it's no different when I'm representing my clients in their personal injury cases. My team and I work hard to get you the maximum settlement as quickly as possible, because winning is everything.
If you've been injured in an accident, ask attorney Adam Kuttner, 702-382-0000. That's 382-0000.
Jack Daniels has always made whiskey, and if they have it their way, they always will. But there's one thing Jack can't make more of: moments. Those are on us to create. You see, hockey fans, we only get one shot at this thing called life. So let's make sure we're making the most of every moment, whether it's showing up for our team or sipping a glass of Jack while cheering at the radio. Don't let a single moment go to waste. Make it count. Jack Daniels.
Tennessee Whiskey, 40% alcohol by volume. Jack Daniels Distillery, Lynchburg, Tennessee. Jack Daniels and Old Number 7 are registered trademarks. Copyright 2022 Jack Daniels. All rights reserved.
We're back to the Vegas Golden Knights postgame show, presented by AAA Insurance. Now, here's your host, Ryan Wallace.
AAA Insurance postgame show. The Vegas Golden Knights defeat the Edmonton Oilers 5-2. Take this second round series in 6 games. Vegas 4 wins. Edmonton bounced in the second round. And that's tough, right? Because when you look at the Oilers, I think that a lot of people going into this series might have been glassy-eyed to the idea of the Edmonton Oilers winning on the power play and finding a way to get it done there. And that's no disrespect to how you view this series, right? The Edmonton Oilers had an unstoppable power play. They were getting power play opportunities like every other night, 3, 4, 5 opportunities. And when you're going 2 for 3, 3 for 4, 4 for 5 in various cases, it's hard to look past that. It really is. However, this series for the Golden Knights was a dissertation of sorts on, just because a team has a really, really good power play, the best power play historically ever in the National Hockey League, if you're the better team 5-on-5, you're going to win the series. Because no matter how many power play opportunities you get, no matter how many different looks the Oilers were able to throw at the Golden Knights, the penalty kill adjusted, it got better. The Golden Knights kill off the majority of a 5-minute major in game number 5 to swing momentum back in their favor, and then they don't allow a power play goal in game number 6 to close it out. Like, Connor McDavid, as good as he was throughout this series and as good as he has been throughout the postseason, the goal that he scored tonight was the first goal in this series that McDavid had 5-on-5. That's it right there. That is it in a nutshell. Coming into this game, McDavid had just 2 5-on-5 points in this series. That's the Golden Knights finding a way to take the punches of the Edmonton Oilers power play and then not allow this team to beat them 5-on-5. And I think that you look at it from a couple of different perspectives. You have to respect what McDavid was able to do in the regular season. You have to respect what Draisaitl was able to do the first 2 games, 3 games or so in this series, really pacing the Edmonton Oilers. But at that point, the Golden Knights clamped things down 5-on-5, were the better team 5-on-5, weren't giving up dangerous chances 5-on-5, and that's what you need to do in order to win in the playoffs. And as much as you look at the Oilers and you respect the talent of McDavid and Draisaitl, the simple fact here is that they were not as good as the Golden Knights 5-on-5, and they were not as deep as the Golden Knights 1-12. And you know what? You have to find a way. If you're the Edmonton Oilers and you're looking at this objectively, you've got to find a way to create a team that can beat a Golden Knights team that is deep 1-12, that does have a phenomenal back end in terms of their 1-6 blue liners. The goaltending depth, too, for Vegas, it's remarkable what this team was able to do, how they were able to overcome multiple different setbacks throughout the year with injury, and now they're halfway to their goal. 8 wins down, 8 wins to go for the Vegas Golden Knights. Western Conference Finals against either the Dallas Stars or the Seattle Kraken. We're back to wrap it up next on the AAA Insurance Postgame Show, presented by Dollar Loan Center. This is the Vegas Golden Knights Radio Network.
Whatever it is that drives you, the U.S. Army has the training, expertise, and a surprising breadth and depth of opportunities to help ensure a fulfilling future. More than 150 career paths to explore, plus comprehensive benefits to help you along the way. To get started, just answer one thing. What's your warrior? Find out at GoArmy.com. To learn more about what the U.S. Army has to offer, click the banner below.
En Toyota sabemos que empiezas a vivir un verano al máximo cuando cambias esto por esto. O cuando cambias esto por esto.
Helado ice cream.
Y por supuesto cuando cambias esto por esto. Comenzó verano al máximo de Toyota. Ven y cambia tu auto por una nueva RAV4, Camry, Tundra o tu modelo favorito. Solo hasta el 31 de mayo. Toyota, vayamos juntos. El inventario puede variar. Visita tu concesionario participante para más detalles.
America's greatest alternative investment conference. Grant Cardone, Mark Moss, Amy Vaughn, and me, Dutch Mindenhall. Legends of the alternative investment world. When attending, you'll be breaking down how to do due diligence, how to find America's greatest alternative investments, the alternative to the stock market. Go to therad.com/America. Partner and own real estate at the conference. I'll see you at the investment conference with the newest and most current information. Go to therad.com/America. That's THERAD.com/America.
We're back to the Vegas Golden Knights postgame show, presented by AAA Insurance. Now, here's your host, Ryan Wallace.
AAA Insurance postgame show. The Vegas Golden Knights defeat the Edmonton Oilers 5-2, take the series 4-2, and advance to the Western Conference Final, the Final Four in the National Hockey League for the 4th time in 6 seasons. Tonight's game recap is brought to you by Universal Windows and Solar. It was a frenetic start to this game. The Golden Knights score on their first shot of the game, 24 seconds in, Riley Smith. Then Connor McDavid comes right down the ice, rips one by Aiden Hill, and Warren Fogle about a minute later chips one in. And that was the last time the Edmonton Oilers would score a goal this season. That's right, Aiden Hill, 38 straight saves, a natural hat trick from Jonathan Marchessault in the second period, erases a 2-1 deficit to a 4-2 lead, and then the Golden Knights clamp things down so well in the third period. William Karlsson adds an empty net goal, and it's the Misfits leading the way and sending the Golden Knights to the Western Conference Final. That's going to do it for me here on the AAA Insurance Postgame Show. Extended Postgame Show is next. Presented by Dollar Loan Center. This is the Vegas Golden Knights Radio Network.
Thanks for listening to the Vegas Golden Knights Radio Network postgame show, presented by AAA Insurance. Our local coverage continues next with game highlights, interviews, and your phone call at 702-876-1340. This is the Vegas Golden Knights Radio Network. It's the extended Vegas Golden Knights postgame show on Fox Sports Las Vegas, 98.9 FM and 1340 AM. Let your voice be heard by calling in at 702-876-1340. Now here's your host, Ryan Wallace.
Hey, extended postgame show, Fox Sports Las Vegas, 5-2 the final. The Golden Knights defeat the Edmonton Oilers, take this series in 6 games. The Golden Knights will play in the Western Conference Final, the Final Four in the National Hockey League, for the 4th time in 6 seasons. Pretty remarkable accomplishment there, but as Jonathan Marchessault has pointed out, and as we would be smart to point out here too, the Golden Knights are just halfway, right? You're at the halfway point right now. You have found a way to get 8 wins, but it takes 8 more to lift the Stanley Cup. The Golden Knights will get the winner of tomorrow night's Game 7 between the Seattle Kraken and the Dallas Stars. Tons of storylines in terms of Dallas or Seattle. We'll see where that goes, but I'm curious to find out who you think was the MVP for the Vegas Golden Knights in round number 2. I've got my thoughts. I'll give them later, but I want to know from you when you call in tonight. 702-876-1340. 702-876-1340. Who was the Golden Knights MVP in round number 2 against the Edmonton Oilers? 702-876-1340. Let's head out to the phone lines. Bring in Mike. Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Well, we have gathered together 93 times since Game 1, and this is as good as it gets so far. I hope it just continues to roll along. And I'll give you a twist on the MVP in just a minute, but I wanted to first of all, just talk about the Adin Hill performance, which I don't see how, at least for today anyway, there isn't any better player on the ice than Adin Hill. 38 consecutive saves. That is really remarkable, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Adin Hill was ridiculous, and that's really the fact of the matter. And it didn't look like it out of the gate, right? He allows 2 goals on his first 2 shots. You start to feel like it's going to be a shaky performance. Everything is moving against him. And as we've talked about many times with Laurent Brossoit first and now Adin Hill, these guys have an ability to turn the page like no other. The compartmentalization, the ability to just go out there and focus on the next save, it was on full display tonight for Adin Hill.
Well, I, for one, will be the biggest Kraken fan on earth for the next 24 hours. But, you know, when you ask players, they give the standard answer. We don't care who we play. Nobody's ever said anything else. Do you care who we play?
No. I was steadfast at the beginning of the postseason, right? I was steadfast when we were in this position as to whether or not Vegas would face either Los Angeles or Edmonton, as to which team I'd want or don't want. Doesn't matter. I think for the Golden Knights right now, you take whoever's in front of you, because the focus isn't so much on the teams, it's on needing 8 more wins.
Yeah. Well, it'd give me great pleasure to beat Pete DeBoer, so why not? But I'm still going to root for the Kraken tomorrow, I think. Here's my MVP of the series. It's going to be a strange twist on a theme, and I'll explain why. Sean Burke is my MVP for the series. He took 2 minor league goalies, basically, in Yuri Patera and Logan Thompson. He took 2 backup goalies, their career backups. They weren't anything but that in all of their years, in Brossoit and Hill. And he asked one other goalie who's going to make the Hall of Fame. And Brian, everybody told me, this guy's washed up. He's not going to do anything for the Knights. And all he did was win 6 games. He took that group and turned it into I don't know how, into a group of goaltenders that are about to play for the Stanley Cup. That's amazing.
Yeah, you know what, Mike, thanks for the call. I think that your point's well taken on Sean Burke. I think he gets a lot of credit. He deserves a lot of credit for the work that he's done this year with the Vegas Golden Knights in goaltending and needing to go 5 deep in the regular season. Now you're on your second option in Adin Hill after Laurent Brossoit started the playoffs due to an injury, an unfortunate injury for Lauren. I think you're right on the money there. I am going to give kind of a lot of credit in this moment to the players in front of Adin Hill. I think the Golden Knights defensively did a phenomenal job throughout this series, but you're right. Ultimately, it's on the goalies to make the saves, and it doesn't necessarily matter who's in net for the Golden Knights. They're getting the saves right now. 702-876-1340 is the number. Your MVP of round number 2. Stephanie, you're on.
Oh, it's Jack Eichel, right? Like,
I mean, that's where I'd go. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that, like, you could go anywhere else. Jack had a very big impact on every game, offensively, defensively. Just, he's a smart player. He went out there and, McDavid may have gotten picked first, but Eichel's going to the next round, and I think I know which one both of them would rather have right now.
Yeah, you're absolutely right there. And you know what? We kind of had that talk with Dan Duva, and he brought up what Bruce Cassidy was talking about. Like, the objective for Jack Eichel is not to be better than Connor McDavid or to be what Connor McDavid has been in terms of his individual skill and the point production. It's to be on a better team or be on a team that can win these games and utilize your skill set. I thought Jack was so good in every facet of the game, offensively, defensively, and just a little tidbit here. In terms of 5-on-5 production, Jack Eichel, 7 points 5-on-5. Connor McDavid, just 3 in this series. That gives you everything you need to know about how productive and how good Jack was in this series.
Yeah, I mean, he was amazing. This game specifically, I actually went down to the watch party in the Dollar Loan Center, which thank you for hosting that Dollar Loan Center. It was really fun. I sound like a frog because I was screaming when Marshy got his hat trick, which was amazing. But one of the things that I noticed watching the game is how well the Knights kept the Oilers to the sides of the boards when they were trying to enter. Like, yes, the Oilers got the puck in and they got it deep, but they weren't getting in, like, coming in straight on down the house to Adin Hill. Anything that they were getting right off the rush was being pushed to the side, and I felt like it just really, they controlled the game by doing that. Like, it was awesome.
Yeah, you're absolutely right there, Stephanie, and thanks for the call. Again, for the Golden Knights, you probably would have wanted maybe a little bit more offensive zone time in the third period, but more than anything, I thought they did a great job keeping Edmonton to the outside, and they find a way, right, to close this game off. You make a couple of really good plays on the defensive zone. You hit an empty netter, and you really make short work of the Edmonton Oilers. I don't think that there were many, myself included, that thought that this was going to end in 6 games. I thought it was destined for 7, and for the Golden Knights, they get it done in 6. 702-876-1340 is the number. Let's go back out to the phone lines. Bring in Sal. Hey, Sal, how you doing?
Feeling great. I feel the same way that when we beat the Avalanche 3 seasons ago, knowing that we were going to be be a sizable favorite for the finals. I mean, this team just feels like we have it. I felt like we beat the second best remaining team in the entire NHL playoffs. It was incredible. Marchessault is my MVP for the series only because he had a performance today that is going to go down in Vegas history in all sports as a sports city, as one of the best performances ever. And he stayed out of the penalty box all series long. He had 5 goals for the whole series. All he did was he had that 10-minute game misconduct at the end of that scrum and that blowout. But he did everything. He elevated his game. He was fantastic, and the reason why we won this game tonight.
Jonathan Marchessault was fantastic. In my view, he's still the player that I come back to, right? When the Golden Knights need a big game, when you need one of those transformative performances, it's usually Jonathan Marchessault that